Greetings and wonderful morning to everyone who has joined in for today's webinar and training. On behalf of Manage Engine family, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to all our customers, partners, and users who are currently evaluating all our products. Thank you very much for joining the session today. In today's session, we will be dealing with endpoint management and security solutions, which is one of the division from Manage Engine. We have a UEM solution under EMS, Endpoint Management Security. So we'll be looking into that solution today. And of course, under EMS, Endpoint Management Security, we do have a lot of different products as well under security and management. Let me introduce myself. My name is Santosh Narasimhamurthy, and I'm part of Manage Engine for Unified Endpoint Management and Security line of products. I'm a technical evangelist, and I help customers to make right choices when it comes to endpoint management and security. The last week of the training, we saw about the software deployment, and this week we'll be looking into the asset management. Let's look into the training schedule that we have. Now, this week we are going to see the asset management, and the first week was patch management, which was on November 3rd, and we completed 3 weeks. 3 weeks of training. We had a gap due to the holidays, so we had a gap in between. Now we are back with the 4th week asset management, and we do still have 2 more trainings to go, which is for remote control tools and onboarding setup and integrations with other products. That's the last one. So if you have missed any of the trainings, you can look at those videos on the link that is shown on the bottom of the screen. You can go there. You can register for the upcoming trainings, as well as you could go to individual links and watch the videos that you have missed in case if you would like to review those content. But otherwise, if you would like to register for the future webinars, you can register on the same link that is shown on the bottom of the screen. Of course, what do I get if I complete this free training or attend all the webinars? Then you get a participation certificate from Manage Engine Endpoint Management and Security. Please note that we offer this participation certificate only for series 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is this series 1, 2, 3, and 4? You can go to the link that is shown on the screen, managengine.com/ems/free-training. You should be able to see what are the series that we offer. We offer it for 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you have attended any of the webinars in any of these series, we will consolidate them and we will give you the certificate at the end of the series that would be after December 15th. So we'll consolidate everything, give you one certificate that has all the modules and all the series that you have attended. So for more information, you can get in touch with us on the support or probably visit the link that's shown on the bottom of the screen. Coming back to today's training, I will be giving you details on asset management, how asset management is used as part of endpoint management and security with a product called Desktop Central Unified Endpoint Management. Let me walk you through the agenda that I have for you today. I have a very, very simple agenda. I'll be talking about the overview of Desktop Central Unified Endpoint Management. This is for people who are currently evaluating or fairly new to the product. I'll just give you an overview of it. For the rest of them, it will be like a recap. Then I'm going to talk about how asset management could be useful for you as a distributed workforce, how you can manage them, identifying unauthorized applications, how do I proactively resolve the hard disk issues. I've taken these scenarios in order to explain asset management better, how you can use this asset management in real time. To understand that, I have taken a couple of scenarios like managing software licenses, removing unauthorized applications, resolving hard disk issues, integrating with Service Desk Plus, and how do I manage asset in a distributed workforce. So that's going to be my agenda. And most importantly, I will also talk about some frequently asked questions, but then there is a panel who is live, who will be answering you questions live as well. End of the session, keep your questions ready, or you can keep it posted on the Q&A section. At the end of the webinar, I will be answering you live questions as well. So if you want any answers for specific questions, or if you want some clarity on what's being discussed, wait for the last 5-10 minutes where we will be discussing about your questions. But in the meantime, your questions will also be answered by a live panel who is there. So in case you are going to post any questions, there will be a panel who will be answering your questions as well, right? With that being said, let's move into the training, Desktop Central free training. So understand this better, what is Desktop Central? Like I said, the first one will be the overview. So I want to start off with this. Let's say John is being the IT manager, or me. He's responsible for managing a distributed workforce, right? And he has head office, and he has pretty much 4 or 5 remote locations that he has to manage. Whether it be an on-prem architecture. So in this diagram, John is having an on-prem architecture where he has to host a server on a central location and then manage every application in a central location and then manage it from everywhere. If that's the case, he can do it. Or if he has to manage these locations on a cloud, right? He does not have an infrastructure where he can host an application and manage, but rather he wants to host it from the cloud. So if John is responsible for managing a distributed workforce like this, having different locations, there could be users who will be connecting through internet. There will be users who will be connected through VPN. There will be users who will be connected through remote locations, how we call it as distribution points. So something like that. You'll have variety of users. John will have blend of these two. Now, is it possible to manage such an architecture with Desktop Central? Yes. Desktop Central can manage any type of architecture, whether it's going to be connected through a VPN, or if it's going to be managed through internet, or if it's going to be an on-prem. So we have both the edition on-prem as well as cloud edition. So in case if you would like to manage it from on-prem, yes, you can. Different locations across the world over the internet, you can. Or if you want to manage it from using a cloud, you can do that as well. So we offer in both the ways. So John will be able to use this product called Desktop Central, and he will be able to manage all their endpoints remotely, whether it be on-prem or it could be a cloud architecture. There is a question for new users who come into ManageEngine UEM solution. What is Desktop Central? What does it do? Is it just for the asset management or just for specific purpose? No. A famous reviewer tells unified and what is unified endpoint management when it was put forth. They defined it like this. Forrester, they say a unified endpoint management is a product that can provide centralized policy engine for managing and securing employee laptops, mobile devices, all from a single console. So Desktop Central pretty much fits into this definition of managing everything from a single console, a centralized policy engine that could manage and secure your devices. So that's the aim of Desktop Central Unified Endpoint Management, where we want to offer both legacy management or traditional management and modern management, all from a single console. People who have been into the IT for more than 15 years would know what client management is called. We initially called it as client management, but right now it has evolved into different ways, different jargons, different marketing terms. So we do offer those client management tools like traditional patching, traditional application deployment, and things like that, plus managing modern operating systems and mobile devices as well, mobile OS, iOS, Android, Chromebooks, Apple TVs, iOS, all these modern devices, we will be able to manage those as well. And also modern devices, when I say Windows 10 and Mac OS, where there is a shift in the way that we have to manage these endpoints from a traditional view into a modern way of, distributing apps through store, or maybe doing a profile distribution instead of pointing out to a configuration, OS reset and recovery modes, things like geo tracking, geofencing for laptops and desktops are also there. So, and then finally, imaging is also added into this category, OS deployment. If you want to image a mission uh, from a golden imaging of Windows OS is also supported. So this is the unified endpoint management of Desktop Central is all about. What are the features that I can get? You can get vulnerability assessment and remediation, patch management for the known vulnerabilities, DLP, data loss prevention is also there, web protection, device compliance, you have application comprehensive application management. In fact, the last week I spoke about the application management, how you could utilize software deployment to deploy the application and keep a track of it. Configurations for different management purpose. Asset intelligence is what we are going to see right now. Remote device management, that's the next webinar that's going to come up. So we pretty much cover everything on the unified endpoint management. Like I said, if you look at the on the bottom portion of the slide, you could see we offer it on cloud, we offer it on premises, we have an MSP version, or we call it as RMM. I mean, if you are a managed service provider, if you want two or three products together, we have a solution called RMM Central. You can get in touch with support for more information, but we offer MSP solutions as well, and enterprise IT, enterprise version for people who want to use Desktop Central Enterprise Edition. So this is the whole unified endpoint management features. And what are the different endpoints that we can manage? You can manage laptops, desktops, mobile devices, tablets, point of sale equipments, browsers, and servers. All these could be managed from a single point or called unified endpoint management. Next question would be, what are the supported operating systems? Which we pretty much support all the operating systems that's available in the market. Most of it, I would say, complete Windows shop. And then Mac, yes, we support everything, latest Monterey as well. Linux OS, we pretty much try to cover most of the Linux flavors that is used in the market. If you have something that's not there in the list, you can always shoot an email to the support that's shown on the bottom of the screen. Just shoot an email to desktopcentral-support at manageengine.com. If you have a specific recommendation, we would like to work with you. Now, all this is what is Desktop Central? Why should I choose Desktop Central? Well, Desktop Central has been consistently awarded in Customers Peer Insight Customer Choice Award for Gartner for 2018, 2019, and 2021 as well. For 2020, we had a slight difference in the category which we went unassessed for, but we've been there consistently in Peer Insight Customer Choice Award, and you could really go into those reviews and read why Desktop Central is the best to manage your endpoints. And we've been recognized in IDC MarketScape reports as well. For more information, you can go into the link that is shown on the bottom of the screen. That's why you need your Desktop Central Unified Endpoint Management. So these are for all the information that I provided is for the new users or people who are currently evaluating the product. Let's go into the product for people who are actually waiting for the asset management. Why do enterprise need asset management? The question comes to our mind. Why do I need an asset management? Basically, the requirement is to keep a track of all the software and hardware assets in an organization. That's why I need a comprehensive asset management. And to optimize the usage of software licenses, not just having a list of softwares, but I want to know what licenses they use, how many are using, how many should not be used, and which are the machines that are using up the licenses, those details. And to be compliant and audit ready at all times, any security team that comes up asking for your report about what are the different applications you have, whether you have a malicious application or not, whether you have installed these applications or not, should always be in compliant and audit ready at all time. So that's why you need a comprehensive asset management and a detailed in-depth report to cater my needs. For example, what version of Windows am I running? What is the build version? Should I upgrade or not? If you need in-depth reports about every application, every version, or in details about the user, what they are actually doing in these assets, what type of activities going on, and things like that. So asset management is a key feature. That's why you need asset management. And with asset management from Desktop Central, what are the details that we collect and give you, right? We give you the hardware, software details, driver details, certificate details, security details like antivirus, BitLocker, firewall, and patches, USB usage details, user logon reports, and not only that, geolocation tracking for modern operating systems. We track all these informations for you. And on top of this, we also give you the user details, share details. All those details are collected during our asset scan, right? So the first thing is we run a scan on all your endpoints and collect all these details that we have set in. How does the scan work? How does the inventory scan or the asset scan work? We call it as an inventory scanning mechanism on the asset management. So how does it work? So you have to schedule a scan in your Desktop Central console, and once you schedule it, it goes ahead and initiates scan on all the endpoints. It goes ahead and compares the old and the new scan data. If it's already a machine that's part of your system, that's going to do a new scan for difference, and then the different scan will be sent to the server. If it's a first time comprehensive scan, it's going to scan everything. But from the second time on, it's going to be a differential scan only. Whatever is new from the last time will be updated to the server. What happens if nothing is new in the system, which means actually pretty much no scan? It just says, hey, everything is the same. And it just keeps the data updated on the central server. Let's go to the console and see how to set this scan up on the asset management. So this is Desktop Central console for everyone who is watching it for the first time. Desktop Central Unified Endpoint Management Series, and it pretty much has everything that we offer from threats, patches, patching, vulnerability management, software deployment, asset management that we are looking into today. OS deployment, mobile device management, browser security, application control, BitLocker management, device control, and tools for remote management. All these things is what we offer under the Unified Endpoint Management Scheme. And I'm using a version over 10.1.21.21.4. If you want to go to the latest version, you can always click on the version there, and you can click on the version that says update. If there is a new version that's available, it will be listed over here. The best way to upgrade your Desktop Central server, I always say it, go to the version link that's over there. Click on that. If there is a new version available, we will show it to you here. You can use that link and get it uploaded, because we will only show which is best for your environment. Unlike the version numbers, whichever version is good for your environment, we will show you. If it is available, you can go ahead and upgrade. So that's why you do that. Anyway, coming back to our asset management today, first thing is to set up the asset scan. So I click on inventory and I click on scan systems on the left hand side. And on the top, I have already set the scan. So it's saying that my scan is scheduled for tomorrow. But if you're the first time, if you're there, you can click on the scan settings on the far right. And once you go in, it's going to tell you what are the different, details that you want to collect: drivers, services, shares. If you don't want some of the details, you can pretty much uncheck those details. If you want to collect certificate details, you can. Otherwise, you can uncheck. So those details, you can first check this box. What are the details that you want to collect? And once you do that, the second step is I go back to the scan settings. I click on the small edit. Once I click on edit, it's giving me the option when I have scheduled it. But for understanding purpose, I'm going to edit it again. So you can set the scan for either daily, weekly, monthly, and you can set the time and the date as well. So if I have selected a date, say for instance, December 2nd at 5 p.m. So it's going to go for every day, 5 p.m. So every day at 5 p.m., it's going to do a scan. Okay, interesting. Right. So, and then it could be weekly or monthly, but I would always say go for a daily scan. to keep it updated. What if the machine is not available during the scan time? That's all right. Whenever the machine comes up the next time, we'll go ahead and update those details. And if you have a notification mobile app that is configured, you can send a notification to that as well. Usually, you don't require notifications for asset scan and all. It's a very basic information that it collects. But if you think you want, you can give notification email addresses as well. So once you set this up, every day at the same time, it goes ahead and runs a scan at all your systems. This is one type of a scan that it takes all the asset hardware details, software details, driver details, and all the other details that you have scheduled for. And there is one more type of scan that we offer. It's called file scan. You could also schedule that too. Now, what is this scan? This scan goes through every files in your in the end user system and gives you a comprehensive details. I'll talk about that in some time, but this is another type of scan. You can schedule it if you would like to. It could be weekly or monthly. Every day you don't want to have this scan running on every files that's there. So these two scans, once you set it up, your asset management is ready. Once the scan is complete, you will get a comprehensive detailed here on the computers. So I go to a computer, let's pick up machine just to understand what details you get. All the details from the scan will be updated here: system information, hardware information, software information, file details. This is the file scan that I was talking about. So if you are going to run a file scan, it's going to say how many movie files you have, how many photos you have, how many Outlook files you have. This is going to give you pretty much a comprehensive insight. We'll talk about more about this. So this is where you get all the information about the asset once you set scan up. So you get the scan going. The next step that will be there is question that comes to our mind is, that's fine if my missions are inside the organization. Right now, currently, all our missions are either connected over the internet, or if it's going to be from a remote work. Probably some percentage of us have returned to office, but still majority of us still remain remote work. So is there a possibility to manage those assets as well? Yes. So we can manage and identify work from home endpoints. Right? So in order to assist you better, so we have a component called Secure Gateway Server. So if you have an on-prem architecture, you can use the Secure Gateway to enable work from home communication. So a component called Secure Gateway can be installed and at the edge machine, and this will allow only the agent traffic to reach to your on-prem server. If you are using cloud version, you don't have to worry about this table. But if you are using an on-prem version, you can pretty much go look at the table. And in fact, there is a link that is shown on the bottom of the screen that gives you more details about how to enable work from home. So I have just opened that link for you just for a better understanding. So this will give you what should I do if I have already set up an on-prem environment and right now I want to manage work from home. Or if you already have a work from home setup, what are the different things that you can utilize as part of remote work from Manage Engine? All those details is available on this link. So you can probably take that link down. I mean, take that note that link, managengine.com/ams/remote-work-setup.html. If you go to that link, it's going to give you details about what happens if Secure Gateway is not configured. I'm right now configuring a Secure Gateway. Is there a way to make all the agents communicate directly to the server or not? What if I have remote office with distribution server? What if I don't have a remote office? All those scenarios are handled there. So can I manage, work from home missions using Desktop Central? Yes, you can. You can manage both the missions, whether it could be inside the office or outside the office. All the asset details would be updated to you. Going to the next scenario. Right now I have initiated a scan. It has scanned all my endpoints. All the details will be available for me, whether if it's part of work from home or whether it's part of my same location. All these details are updated to me now. The next thing is, let's go go ahead and look at a specific scenario. Let's say a administrator wants to resolve a hard disk issues that's part of every user machine. How does the admin go about it? What are the options available for him? So let's go to the Desktop Central console. In Desktop Central console, we have lot of details that are available for you. The first thing is, when it comes to hard disk issues, I want to get an alert on the disk space usage. Is that possible? As an administrator, if I want to know the hard disk issues, the space issues that are going on, the first thing is I need to get an alert if the space is exceeding a specific threshold. Is that possible? And I should also notify the end user. That's the first thing, right? I should also notify them saying, "Hey, disk space is going low." You can either use a SharePoint or a distributed file system, DFS shares, or you could use other cloud storages. But then, disk space is going low, especially when it's operating system drive. Every IT administrator will understand this. Most of the time, when they say system is slow, it's either they have filled their C drive up, or their temporary files or their cache files. Something has filled them hard disk up. So that's one of the main reasons why they get the system to be slow. So in Desktop Central, you can get these alerts. So go to the inventory, scroll to the bottom. You have an option called Configure Alerts. In Configure Alerts, if you scroll down to the bottom, you have something called disk space. Now, if an individual disk space is free space is less than a specific threshold, you can shoot an alert email to the administrator. Or if the overall free space is less than specific percentage, I can shoot an email to the administrator as well. So whichever machine, when the disk space is going low, now I will get a notification as well. And in fact, if I how do I can customize the emails as well. I mean, how should the email be? What are the details that I want? What are the details I want, and what are the details that I don't want? All those details I can, go ahead and configure it. And in fact, we have an option to post it for Service Desk Plus as well. So if you want to create a ticket, whenever the disk space is low, I can create a ticket so that IT team can action it later on. And you have SMS notification as well. What SMS should be sent in. So for more information, I mean, you could probably talk to a support team as well. So this is how you configure email alerts. Email alerts whenever disk space is going low, and not only for disk space. This alert is there for licensing. This alert is there for any software installation, uninstallation, any changes with regards to the asset, software changes, hardware changes, disk space changes, certificate expiry, any changes that you have with respect to the asset. You can configure alerts. The same can be sent as an email, but if you have Service Desk Plus, which is our ticketing tool, you could get tickets created as well. The next point is, okay, I got the disk space usage from the users. Now, getting the alert alone is not enough. I have to go one step further. I have to look into what are the different files they have, whether I have to take any action against it, or I mean, in the sense, I have to move those files. I have to, go one step further, right? So, what are my options? In that case, here on asset management, I go to computers. I pick a machine just for understanding purpose. So here I have the file details. This is the one that I showed you earlier, where it talks about different file details. What are the different files that are there? Net type of files. In fact, if you'd like to add more category to it, you can do as well. If you want to see a specific type of files, that's the file scan rules. So here, when I say audio, it's only going to scan for MP3 and M4A. But if you want to say MP4 or WAV file, anything like that, if you'd like to add, you can. Or if you'd like to add more rules to it, you can add that here as well. If you want to specifically find out how many people have this type of extension files, this specific files, you could edit all those, right? That's file details. And you can go even more further. So this is not enough. I want to make some modification at the user level. we have that also available, and that's available only for the administrators. I mean, you can extend it to the technicians, but recommending to limit it to administrators alone. So under tools, we have something called system manager function. Under system manager functions, we have option called the file manager, right? The file manager gives complete details about what's the what are the different drives the system has, what are the different files they have. So my system seems, I mean, the agent seems to be not reachable, but when it's live, you will have all the details. You can go into each and every details, and you should be able to get the details for you, right? So that's drilling down into each each member's machine. And also, you want to, if you want to create alerts to the end user, that's also possible. That's part of configuration. So if I go to configuration here, configurations, Windows, and there is an option called alerts. So in alerts, I can say warn the user if the disk system drive space is less than 100 MB. And if the space is going low, purge the temporary files, right? And prompt the user before deleting. You have this option. So you can deploy it to the users that you want, so that especially to the servers, or probably especially, to the critical machines, you can deploy and say, hey, if it's going below a specific threshold, be sure to, delete the temporary files of the temp folder, and if it's greater than so much size and things like that, right? So you can deploy it to the user. So in that way, you get notification to the user. You also give notification to the administrator. You still get, you can drill down to get more insights about what are the different files the user has, and you could always remove the unwanted files as well. You also have an option in configuration. Under Windows, you have file folder backup, you have file folder operations. The file folder operation gives you option to copy the file from one location and put it to another location. You have that option. You can copy a file to a specific folder, or copy multiple files from a specific location and put it to another destination. Or if you want to do common folder redirections, that is also available, right? This is part of configuration. As part of asset management, you will be able to use those configurations as well, right? So you'll have very more, I mean, you can get more granular detail into every machine, what files they use, what are the users they have. All those information is available with Desktop Center. The next scenario that we are going to look at is, how do I identify unauthorized applications, software details, what are the different applications they have. In Desktop Central, if you go to the inventory and you go to the software tab, it gives you the details of what applications are being installed in the user machine, and what is the version of those applications, how many machines are installed with that specific version. All those information you can get it from here. And in fact, I can even create groups, right? Say, for example, I have created Adobe group. So I will show you how I created, because Adobe has a lot of applications. So, but then I want to view it as one group, right? It could be multiple Acrobat Reader versions, or it could be multiple other versions, but I want to view it as one group. Is there a possibility? Yes, it's there. So I go to manage licenses. Inside that, I have something called group software. So in that, I can add a software group. I am going to modify the one that I already have. So as you can see, I've added all the Adobe products over here. In fact, there are still other products in this list too. But just for an example, I have added whatever software that I want to group together, whatever versions that I want to group together, I have added it over here. I'm saying any applications after the specific version that I've add to this list automatically. So what happens is, it creates a group. If I go to software now, and if I go search for Adobe, which is already here, it tells me as a group how many machines are installed with those softwares and what are the different softwares in those machines. All that information will be available here. All right. So now going to prohibiting the application. Let's say I want to prohibit all the Adobe products, right? So I've created a group. Now I can go to prohibit software. In here, I can add what software is prohibited in my environment. So I click on add prohibit software. I can click the entire Adobe group if I want to, right? Or if I have a specific application that I want to prohibit in my environment, I could do that as well. So in here, I have added an example of uTorrent, and it's not installed anywhere. But if there are any installed, if it is installed in any environment, I can configure uninstall command over here. If there is a pre-filled uninstall command that's available with the installation, we will take it. If it's not there, most of the time you will have to provide an uninstallation command, right? You can provide the uninstallation command here. Correct ones, you can get it from the vendors and provide it. If you don't give correct uninstallation command, it will not be able to remove that application from those machines. So it's important that you configure correct uninstall commands. And once you do that, it has the ability to find out which are the machines that has the specific software, and it will remove all those prohibited softwares. Even when they try to install it again, it will again remove those softwares. It will also notify them saying, hey, you have installed a prohibited application. So this they will get a notification like this saying a prohibited application is detected, and they have two choice. Either they can just say okay, or they can send it as a request saying, hey, I need this software for a specific reason, and it comes as an user request over here. Here it comes as a user request. Then if the administrator approves it, it goes ahead and leaves the application. If the administrator declines the request, then it goes ahead and uninstalls the application. This is prohibit application for you. Now you might think, okay, do we have an option to whitelist the application? This is about blacklisting. You prohibit an application, you put a list saying these should not be installed. If you find it, uninstall it. What about I don't want them to install at all? There is only whitelist of application. Other applications are not allowed at all. If that's your requirement, then you might have to go add a component called application control to your desktop center, another security add-on. With application control, you will be able to do that. You can create whitelist and a blacklist. Let's say for a specific applications, I go with Adobe. It could be based on vendor, it could be based on product name or file hash and different other values. You can select it, you can create a whitelist, allowed applications. So once I do that, and I can map it to a specific group of missions, custom groups that I've created. In fact, I have spoken in detail about it on the second week of the training, which is security, unified endpoint security. So you can go to that video. You will be able to see I have spoken about application control in detail, how to create groups, how to associate these policies to the group, how to deploy to the endpoints. I have taken the topic and I have explained it better. So you can watch in that. But as part of asset management, I'm telling you there is an option to do whitelisting, and prohibited application is also there. If you feel you don't want application control, if you just need blacklisting alone, then you can stick to prohibit software, or otherwise you could always opt for application control, right? One of the other important aspect of the asset management is managing licenses. Now, when I say managing licenses, this is more from an inventory standpoint, meaning it does not do like an LMS or a license management system where it picks a license from one machine and puts it to the other. No, it does not do that, but rather it tells you how many installations are there, how many licenses are being used up. So let's say go to inventory. On the bottom left, you have manage licenses, and I click on add license. I can enter the license name. Let's say I want to see Office 365. I don't have an Office, but let's say LibreOffice for an example. And then I go with it couldn't find any edition, so I leave it blank. The license name I set it as Office, and what's the cost? Probably it cost me 100 USD. Number of installations, number of licenses that I purchased will be 3. And if I have a license key, I can put it over here as well. Purchase date, I can say I purchased it on January, and the expiry would be it's purchased on December, so it would be 2 months. Invoice number, all those details you could add. If you would like to keep a track of the license file, keep a track of the invoice file somewhere, you could always browse and add it to this list, right? Like the purchase order, if you'd like to keep a track of it, right? And the best part is if you have entered the expiry date correctly, it will give you an alert. Like let's say before 15 days or 30 days, if you'd like to get an alert, say for example, I purchased the license, upload the license file here, it will be safe on the server, and set an expiry date saying January 31st. So it will give you an alert before 10 days or 15 days. I'll show you how it does. So once you do that, whether you want to see all the machines that managed machines, meaning all the machines that's part of Desktop Central, or you want to calculate it only based on the installed computer list that it has. So how do you want to do it? So you can choose. Usually we'll go with managed computers to understand how much they are, right? And then say add. Now it now tells me, so I have purchased 4 licenses. I have found only one network installation, only one machine that I'm sorry. Out of 3 that I have purchased, 0 installation is there. But for the other 2 licenses that I have entered, like Adobe or FileZilla, as you can say, I said I purchased 5. I have 1 network installations. So I have 4 remaining left. Here I have 3 remaining left. And if I scroll to the bottom to the configure alerts tab, just like how we did for disk space, this also has, alerts that you could create for license. Let's say if the software compliance license usage limit is less than 75%, or if the software is going to expire in the next 15 days or 30 days, you can do a warning. And you could even give a follow-up warning on the next 15 days, 30 days, right? You could configure it. Perfect. And if the software is used even after the license expiry, if you'd like to keep a track and get an alert, that is also possible. So a comprehensive, license management is available. You could go ahead and add those and view those details from here. So that's pretty much about the asset management part, software assets, hardware assets, and reports for all these, prohibiting applications, software metering. Metering is also there, meaning you could meter a specific software, how much a specific software is used. Same Adobe example I am taking. So I have added an Adobe group, and they're telling me how many times the Acrobat Reader was used, what is the usage count, what is the duration, all those details. So you can also do software metering as well. And finally, managing licenses that we saw right now. So apart from this, if you have Service Desk Plus, which is another manage engine tool, you can integrate Desktop Central with your Service Desk Plus. Service Desk Plus tool being one of our manage engine tool that integrates with a lot of other applications. So if you want to view everything from one place where your ticketing tool is, you could do that as well. So what are the benefits that I get if I integrate with Service Desk Plus, right? Benefits of integrating. First thing is you get a better user incident management experience, meaning for a technician, it will be all under one roof. He doesn't have to go to 2 different tools, for one for ticketing, one for remediation. He doesn't have to go to 2 different tools, all from a single place. He can do it. So that's better end user experience for incident management. And non-tech users and admins can perform IT tasks, right? So you don't really have to bring up a technician to do simple tasks like installing an applications, or if you have packages ready from an IT help desk point of view, they can simply install the applications from there. Or if they want to simply add a patch or simple tasks, they could do it right out of their console. So that's why you say even a non-technicians or users should be able to do those tasks. Reduce the downtimes for basic requirements. Yes, again, basic IT requirements, you can reduce the downtimes. Instead of moving tickets from one bucket to the other bucket, comes in, you can finish it there itself. Advanced remote control for roaming users. So even if the help desk technicians wants to take remote control of devices, they can do it from the help desk tool itself. That's the advantage. So these are the benefits of integration. And what are the features that you get if you integrate Service Desk Plus with Desktop Central? You get asset data, installing of uninstalling of software, running scripts and configuration templates, advanced remote control, logging help desk requests like just like tickets right from the agent. You don't need a specific other software, or they don't have to go to a URL. They can log tickets right out of their, you know, agent itself. And just a feature comparison for people who are saying, I'm using Service Desk Plus on demand, I'm using Service Desk Plus on-prem. What is the difference? What are the features that we integrate? You can take a look at the screen that shows with the difference in integrating with on-demand version of Service Desk Plus and the Service Desk Plus on-prem. Right. With that being said, I mean, let me take you to the Service Desk Plus console just to, understand it better. This is Service Desk Plus console that you have. So like I said, from the Service Desk Plus console itself, let's say you have a ticket request that comes in. I go to the ticket here, install, the request is to install a specific software. I can go into that ticket, custom in. So let's say they want to install a specific application, right? It could be Office 365 in this case, as you can see. So all I have to do is custom action, install uninstall software, and it opens a pop-up like this. You can select the software that you want. I choose Office 365. The machine is already selected. If you want to install it as a specific administrator or a user, you can. Otherwise, it uses system account, and you can click on save. Once the software is successfully installed, the ticket will automatically be closed, right? So as just with the click of a button, you can deploy the applications right from here. Desktop Central packages will be used here. And not only that, like how you saw, not only that, you could do remote control as well. If the machine is live, we can take remote control as well. Let me see if I'm able to take a remote control session. Let's see if the machine is live. So I initiate a session from here. Unfortunately, the machine is not reachable, but you can initiate, those remote view, remote desktops right out of here. And not only that, if all the assets that's part of Desktop Central will be also available in the asset tabs of Service Desk Plus as well. So you go to the asset, whatever assets that we have there, we will be populating it here as well. As you can see, those three assets that we saw there is also there. All the details that you have, which we collect from there will be automatically populated over here, and it will be always updated as well. It will always be updated. And if you want to view it as a CMDB, that's part of the Service Desk Plus with different connections, the relationship diagrams. You could view all those details as well. Right. This is the benefit of integrating Desktop Central and Service Desk Plus. One more benefit is that, let's say I want to open the Desktop Central inside Service Desk Plus. That's also possible. Let's say I want to do a software package management. So I go to software packages. Without even going into Desktop Central, I will be able to log into the Desktop Central right from the Service Desk Plus site itself. Right? That's the advantage of having the integrations here. All right, so this is the asset management from the Desktop Central, that the different benefits that you have seen, the different benefits that you get while you have Desktop Central as well as Service Desk Plus and the other features of asset management. So with that, I'm going to go into some of the frequently asked questions, and then I'm going to answer live questions as well. So let's look at some of the frequently asked questions. One of the questions is about the security status of the machines in my network. How do I go about checking that? So let me take you to the Desktop Central. In inventory, computers. I pick a machine. On the security tab, you see the options about BitLocker, status of the BitLocker, antivirus status, firewall status, and missing patches as well, right? In fact, if you want to view the key, BitLocker key, keeps it updated, and if you want to view it, you have that option as well, right? That's security status. Shared directories are a threat. Write access is a security threat. Shared directories that you have, different shares that's connected to a machine. Is there a view to view it? Yes. In Desktop Central, here on the system details for a specific machines, you can view what are the different shares that are connected, what are the different drivers that's installed in the machines, and if something is not working, that would also be updated here. Groups that are connected, users that are, user accounts that's part of the machine. And if you have any default account or a local account, it will have those details as well. You can even disable those local accounts also, and the services that are registered with that specific machine. One of the questions is can I attach an invoice or other attachment to computer to maintain the records? Is it possible with asset management? Yes, it's possible. So with respect to the inventory asset management, what we offer is you can click on the computer. So you can add custom columns here. And one of those columns is to add let's add a custom column. So it could say the field name is, let's say, purchase invoice, and input format should be a file upload, and I add. So on the far right, or you will have the columns there. You can browse and add specific files to the list, right? So you can keep a track of license files, purchase invoices, all those. You could add different custom columns as well, not only this. I mean, if you'd like to add different formats, whether it could be dates, numbers, true or false, or it could be alphanumeric characters as well. If it's a PII column, we will try to hide it. We will hide it on the reports. Only for an administrator, it will be visible. Even it could be added in computer's view, or if you want to add it on a software view, you could do that. So with that, we have come to the end of our session, and thank you very much for patiently listening. So the next few minutes or the next 5 minutes, I'll be answering questions live. So if you have questions that are posted already, I'll try to answer as much as possible. If not, you can post those questions now as well. One of the common questions that I see here is where can I get the recorded training session? Yes, it will be available on the link, registration link that you used. You could, of course, after the session, you will get a link to view the recording as well. But if you'd like to view those previous sessions, you can go to the link that you used for registration. The location of BitLocker key recovery key. Please share the location of BitLocker recovery key. Well, we will not be able to give you the location, but with Desktop Central, we have the option, to view the recovery key. And of course, Desktop Central have two options. If you are going to use only the inventory panel, then with the inventory, we have the option to say you can click on the recovery key status. It's going to give you the key details. Or if you want to do a comprehensive BitLocker management, just want to enable BitLocker, we have an add-on for that called BitLocker Management. Of course, it's part of endpoint security add-on. So if you have security add-ons, you get BitLocker Management. So you can create a policy, publish it to everybody for the OS drive. If you want to rotate the keys, that's also possible. If you'd like to update it, again, I have discussed this. That's part of Unified Endpoint Security. So you can view that for more information. Question unanswered. Can we track portable apps for launched by the users? So we cannot track it, but then what we offer here is that if you go with application control, then you can prohibit them from launching any other application apart from the whitelisted. That's one. Number two, if you know the file name or the hash value of the file that they are using, you can use the prohibit applications to block it. So I can add prohibit applications to the list. Even if they are launched once, I can do it. I'm sorry, it's with block executables. So I can add a policy for a specific groups. Let's say I've created a group already, add executable. It could be part or it could be a hash value. I can upload it. Let's say if somebody is trying to use this executable or a hash value, then block it completely, right? I can do that. Or the very best recommended way is to go with application control and make sure you have whitelisted all the applications. There's other questions about how to find out how many computers are installed with the specific applications. For that, we have a report. So you go to inventory reports. Under inventory reports, you have an option called computers with or without a specific software. You have a lot of reports under inventory, but I'm just showing you one. So you can go ahead and say, let's say 7-zip, computers with that specific application, computers without that specific application. This will be useful if you are going to use for probably, for example, antivirus. How many machines has antivirus? How many does not antivirus? You can use this. And not only that, you have lot of other reports that are available as part of inventory. Things about disk space, things about expired certificates, computer by OS, etc. And if you would like to build your own report, that is also possible as part of reports here. We call it as custom reports. Go to reports on the top, go to custom reports, create a new custom report. Computer wise, hardware wise, software wise, you can create mix and match, create your own report, and you can view them. Can we create a manage engine console access for local engineer, customized access? Yes, role-based administration is what you refer to. So we can create it. We can create different roles. Let's say admin, user administration. Here I can create roles. We have predefined roles over here with the limited capacities. You can use one of those, or if you want to create, let's say somebody should be able to access only tools, remote tools, no other modules. You can create a specific role and map that role to the user. Can we block custom website or URL? So that's part of one of our other security add-ons that's called browser security. You could probably look at that for more information. Here, we have the option to, block specific web activity. Web filter is what we call it as. So you can block specific URLs or just for a specific time period alone, if you'd like to block, that's also possible. That's part of browser security, right? That's one of the questions that I got. So can we manage domain and work group? Yes. Desktop Central, you could manage both domain as well as work group machines. You can manage multiple domains and multiple work groups also. Can you search for a specific version of software? Yes, on the same tab that I showed you, you have those options too. Computers without a specific software, you could search for specific versions also. And if you would like to add more filters, equals to, let's say, specific software like 7-zip. And if you would like to add more conditions, you can add to that as well. So you see the version details over here, but the custom reports will have that details for you. Go to custom reports, new custom report, software. I get a specific software. Not only so all these details, I just need the software name, software version, and I still have a filter in it. If I want to add more filters to it, I can do that as well. You can get that details. Software version should be a specific value, right? You can get that and take the report out of it. Can we do disk cleanup or disk refragmenter? Yes, those are available as well inside the product. So you go to tools, you have the option called system tools, and you have the option to disk check, cleanup, or defragmenter. Those options are also there, right? I think that should be it. Most of the other questions are answered directly by our expert who's there on the panel. Thank you very much for everyone for joining the session. We'll be there probably in chat for the next 2 to 3 minutes to answer the other questions there. And if you have more information, please get in touch with us. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. The next session is on remote control. That's on December 8th. Tools and remote control. Please make yourself available for that. And rate this webinar on a scale of 5, where 5 being the best. This will help us for future webinars as well. And if you'd like to have a personalized demo of our products, any of the products, you can either go to the link or simply leave your details on the chat. What product or what's your email address and things like that, we will get in touch with you, right? Thank you so much for patiently listening. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.